financial problems, elder law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by Thav Gross. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is synergy. Family debt issues cross all corners. It's going to be a two-part story. This is segment number one. Brian Small, good morning. Nice to see you.
Pleasure to be here, Ken.
We have our two expert co-sponsors of the show, Pat Simasko, elder law expert. Good to see you.
Thanks, Ken. Thanks,
Jeffrey Kirshner, Social Security, Disability, and Workers' Compensation expert. Good to see you.
Nice to see you too, Ken.
Why am I calling the show Synergy? Because we're going to take a case study and we're going to develop it with a family problem, and you're going to see how all of the disciplines sitting at this table all need to work together to arrive at a common result. The definition of synergy, the interaction or cooperation of two or more organizations, substances, or other agents, in this case we have other agents, to produce a combined effect greater than the sum of their separate effects. The synergy involved when you have family problems occurs is a big issue, because so often professionals are not working together and they're not looking out for what the other guy can accomplish to help the situation. That's the exact reverse of what we accomplish at Law and Reality and at Thav Gross and with Pat and with Jeffrey. With all of us working together, we arrive at the better result. So I'm going to give you, and I'm not going to tell you it, I'm going to show it to you by way of a case study. That's the beauty of what we have by having the TV show. We can put out examples and everything else. One family, Grandma and Grandpa. Rocky is 80. Adrian is 78. Oh, Adrian. I thought you'd like that, Brian.
Greatest movies ever made.
Yep.
So that's Grandma and Grandpa. And Grandma and Grandpa have two children, Mom and Dad. Sean is 50. Marcy is 48. And they have two grandkids. Well, that's Grandma and Grandpa's. It's Rocky and Adrian's grandkids. Sherry is 20 and Brent is 16. Everything seems relatively normal as of now for these two, for this entire family. And let me run through you their finances. For Rocky and Adrian, they own a home, $175,000 in value. They're retired, no mortgage. They got $50,000 of cash in the bank, $200,000 IRA. Their 2012 Ford Taurus is paid for, worth about $15,000. They've got assets of $440,000. They have some debts. They like to use credit cards. Rocky's carrying $25,000 in credit card debt. Adrian has $15,000. So they've got liabilities of $40,000. Their net worth is $400,000. They're doing okay in retirement. They don't have a lot of expense. That house is paid for. They do have a little bit of debt, but they also have some income coming in. Rocky gets $2,000 for Social Security. Adrian, $1,800. Rocky's got a $500 pension. They have to take mandatory distributions out of that IRA. That works out to about $900 a month. They got $5,200 coming in. Things seem to be okay for the Rock and Adrian. Life is moving along.
That looks like a good.
They're not overly worried about their credit cards. So they're okay there. Sean and Marcy. Now their situation's a little bit different, but not uncommon. Their house is also worth $175,000, but on their first mortgage they owe $180,000. They have a second mortgage for $25,000. They only have $5,000 of cash in the bank. They do have an IRA, but it's only $50,000. So their assets total net of the mortgage on their house is only $25,000. Their credit cards, Sean has a lot of credit card debt at $50,000. Marcy's got $25,000. They owe taxes from 2012 of $15,000. They got $90,000 worth of debt. Their net worth is actually a negative $65,000. Now, they have income though. Sean's a real estate agent. He's doing all right. He's bringing in about $8,000 a month. Marcy's a marketing account rep. She makes about $5,000 a month. They got $13,000 gross coming in. After taxes, they're netting about $94.50. They have expenses though. First mortgage, $1,400. Second mortgage, $275. The credit cards is a biggie at $1,875. 2 car leases, $750. IRS tax payment, $375. Utilities, $400. Health insurance, $1,500. Life insurance, $600. Food miscellaneous, $1,750. Total expenses, $89.25. All they have left at the end of the month is $525. So, we've already said Rocky and Adrian seem okay. That seems like an elderly couple that looks okay to
See
you,
that
Pat,
all the
so
time,
far. Their credit cards might be an issue, but they've got enough coming in. They're comfortable. Sean and Marcy, how are they doing? They're making $156,000. They got $75,000 of credit card debt, cash flow basically breaking even, saving nothing, house underwater. I would say they're surviving, but they're not smart long term. It's not real good. I would say it's common. Brian, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, it is a very common situation. It's not unusual for a couple with that age, with kids in their teenage years, to be in debt, to become overextended because they want. And so when they want, they'll get it, regardless of the fact that they shouldn't afford it. So the question is where should they be and what should they be doing right now? And really, they need to draw a line in the sand and get rid of that $75,000 worth of credit card debt and get rid of that IRS debt. And there's a lot of different methodologies we can look at, whether it be Chapter 7, Chapter 13, or debt resolution.
But let me interrupt for 1 second. Would you agree, even though they're making it, month to month, there's no disaster on the wall. They're paying the credit cards. Life is okay. He's got some available credit. Should they be doing something now? Because I see it, they're kind of like wasting their life away from the standpoint of what are they going to do when they're 65?
I'll give you one better.
Yeah.
They're one paycheck away from bankruptcy.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're making it because he's got $75,000 in credit card
One
debt.
less closing,
Yeah.
one less house
Oh,
closing,
yeah.
and he's
One paycheck away from
One
disaster.
not new credit card in the mail.
This is typical
All right.
of overextending and getting the mortgage because you think you have your
Absolutely.
whole life
When we come back from the break, I want to figure out what should Marcy and Sean do now, and then we'll go from there.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
Worth Ave Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
Worth Ave Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Fav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Fav Gross today, 888-235-HELP.
A lifetime of hard work. If you don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your savings, and more. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Samasco Law wants you to know that laws are changing. Today, the average cost of nursing home care is $85,000 a year. With proper planning, we can help protect your life savings and get you the Medicaid and nursing home benefits you deserve.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Samasco Law today.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Fav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Worth Ave Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP.
All right, welcome back. So let's set the stage. We looked at Rocky and Adrian. We didn't see any alarming things. We did see some credit card debt. But Sean and Marcy, even though they're making $156,000 a year, they're saving no money. What's their solution? Here's things that people talk about. Can they file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, Brian?
Okay, so start off with what is a Chapter 7 bankruptcy?
And what's the benefit of doing it? If they could file a bankruptcy, would that be good?
If they could, yes. The
Why?
simplest, easiest, least costly method to get yourself out of debt is what anyone should do, period. And so a Chapter 7 bankruptcy happens to be the simplest, least costly, most effective method to get out of debt.
And fastest, too.
Yeah. And what it does is it takes your debts and it wipes them out. It bars the creditor from ever pursuing the debt. It eliminates the debt. It lets you keep most, if not all, of the assets that
Well,
you
there's
own.
limits on the assets, though, right?
There are, but most people that are facing a Chapter 7 bankruptcy have already made so many mistakes and eaten up all the equity in their home, eaten up the assets that they have, that the bankruptcy code offers you an opportunity to get a fresh start, and it does let you keep a significant amount of assets. A married couple, under the federal exemptions, can keep about $45,000 equity in their home. If you're using the Michigan exemptions and you're over 65, you can keep $57,000 plus of equity in your home.
Okay, so in this case, because Marcy and Sean, they've got $75,000 in credit card debt, $15,000 in IRS debt, and they're underwater in their house, so they got that second mortgage of $25,000. The only assets they have is $5,000 of cash in the bank and an IRA of $50,000. I think you can keep an IRA in bankruptcy, right?
Absolutely, you can
So
keep
can
the
they?
IRA.
So an IRA, so a Chapter 7 would sound like a good thing for them.
It would be perfect, except for one problem.
There's a problem.
There is a problem.
There's a
Income.
but.
They make too much money.
How
And-
much money
well-
do they make? How much is too much?
Well, in this case, Sean and Marcy are an average family of 4, and their income is above the median income. And it's so significantly above the median income that they would fail what's called the means test. The means test for Chapter 7 is a test set forth by Congress that says we take your income and we allow you to subtract what we call allowable expenses. And if you have income left over after what the government says are allowable expenses, then you have to multiply that by 60, and there's a whole formula, and it turns out that if the number is too high, you don't qualify for Chapter 7. At $140,000+ a year of income for an average family of 4 without any significant medical issues that are causing expenses to be greater than the allowed expenses, they're not going to qualify for a Chapter 7. So while it
So
would
no
be the
soup for them.
while it would be the perfect solution to allow them to move forward in life, the government says, I'm sorry, you can afford to pay your bills back.
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier, is that if he had a problem, like he lost his job or he was short a couple commissions this month and his income dropped, then he's really in trouble.
If income drops, it has to drop so that the average income for the 6 months ending the month before you file the bankruptcy allows you to pass the means test.
How far over is he usually in looking at
In this
it?
case, he's about
156?
$60,000
So
a
he's
year.
a long way away.
well, the question is,
Wait,
how
wait.
the hell did he get in such trouble? But a lot of families get in that trouble with that much income.
It's not difficult.
You know
You have
why?
kids, you have-
Because it costs so much to live, and there's so much pressure on parents to provide for their children.
Yeah.
These kids, the kids are in 20 and 18, so they went through the period of the dance lessons, the horseback lessons, the golf lessons, the ski
Yeah.
lessons, all that stuff,
The
camp,
iPad and the
all those
iPod
things
and
that
this
parents
and
want to provide for their children. And if they don't have the income to do it, what do? You charge a little bit. You use all your expendable income. You don't have anything. We see Sean and Marcy are not uncommon. Sean and Marcy are the common. So 7 doesn't work.
Correct.
What now?
Well, now we're going to look
You got to
at...
solve their problem.
I can solve their problem.
You can solve it?
I can. The question is what's the best avenue? What road works best for Sean and Marcy? So now, since Chapter 7 didn't work,
I have another chapter number coming. It's
There's
chapter
13.
13.
Well, there's two different roads we're going to look at. We're going to look at Chapter 13, or we're going to look at debt resolution. Now, Chapter 13 is structured reorganization over time. You take what you can afford, and you repay some or all of your creditors, some or all of the money you owe them over 3 to 5 years. In this case, as the slides have shown, Sean and Marcy are paying $1,875 a month on their credit card debt. They're paying $375 a month towards their IRS debt, and they have a positive cash flow of $525. Well, I'm not a math major, but when you add all of that up, that's about $2,800, give or take a few bucks, that they have available to pay towards debt. In a Chapter 13, that would be what they would have to pay or could afford to pay per month to get themselves out of debt.
Wait, all right, so if I understand this, that's not a good situation.
Well, it isn't necessarily a bad situation. In a Chapter 13, they're going to be able to do this at no interest, which means that they're going to eliminate the debt. And they would be in a 5-year program, so they could afford up to $2,800 a month for 60 months. That's more than their amount of debt. So they will get out of debt completely, 100%, with a Chapter 13.
Otherwise, the interest on the credit card never even touch it. With
Right,
the,
that $1,875, which is their minimum monthly payments on their credit cards, isn't
Not
doing
even
anything
close.
other than moving the
I guess
donut forward.
my analysis would be if their extra income was only $200-300 a month that they were paying in the Chapter 13, that would be kind of nicer. If they have to pay that much, the question is
Why
there a better
go?
alternative than paying that much into a plan over 5
There
years?
absolutely is a better alternative, but understand the concept of Chapter 13 is what we're looking at here, and depending upon their income shows the available amount of cash that they have to spend per month into the Chapter 13. So you're exactly right. $200 to $300 a month, perfect Chapter 13. What they've got, not so much.
What about the stigma, though? of
When we
filing
come
for
back from the
bankruptcy?
break, I want to know what the better outcome is.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Thav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Thav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
A lifetime of hard work. If you're approaching retirement and don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your investments, and your savings. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Putting a solid strategy in place with Samasco Law legally protects your assets as well as your wishes. Since a will doesn't cover you medically or financially, Samasco Law goes beyond ordinary asset management protection to safeguard everything you have.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Samasco Law today.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Thav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Thav Gross today, 888-235-HELP.
Let's do announcements. Want to remind our viewers to listen to us Tuesdays noon to 1, 6 to 7 p.m. Law and Reality live on WCHB 1200 99.9 FM. Thursdays from 3 to 4, we're with Cliff Russell on Law and Reality Now. That's on 9:10 a.m. We've got seminars coming up. On Wednesday, February 15th, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Mom needs to go into the nursing home and I don't know what to do. Help me. Pat Samasco is going to join us. He's our elder law expert and walk us through the Medicaid planning steps that you need to do, as well as aid and attendance benefits for veterans, because in that situation, suddenly you find yourself in this situation. Mom or dad has to go into the nursing home. You get Medicare pays for maybe up to 90 days, and then after that, it's $9,000 to $12,000 a month. It will wipe out virtually every family facing that situation unless they do proper planning. Pat is the absolute expert in how to preserve those assets and structure it the right way. You want to take advantage of that seminar. Brian's going to be there to talk about debt issues facing the elderly, and I'm going to talk about basic estate planning for the children of the parent that needs that care that's 40 to 60 years old. Free seminar, Wednesday, February 15th, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Sign up, lawnreality.com or thavgross.com, or call 888-235-HELP. On Wednesday, March 1st, from 6:30 to 8 o'clock p.m., we have our next debt-related seminar. It is called Eliminating Debt is Not March Madness, It's Marching On to Victory. That seminar is going to focus not on basketball, but it's going to focus on how you go about preserving future income for you and your family, what you need to do. Is bankruptcy the right option to eliminate the debt, or can we eliminate the debt outside of bankruptcy? We cover all the strategies we talk about on the show. The seminar is free. Attendees also get a free copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. Sign up at lawnreality.com, thavgross.com, or call 888-235-HELP. Want to remind everyone that you're always able to come in for a free consultation, whether it's a debt issue, a tax issue, a business issue, estate planning, elder law issue, or Social Security, disability, or workman's comp issue. You just go to the websites and click a request a consultation, or call 888-235-HELP, and we're glad to have you in here. If you go to the websites, you'll see there's 3 free reports available. You can download them, one dealing with foreclosure, one dealing with Social Security from Pat, and another one addressing methods of financing a new business in Michigan, 14 different ways of finding financing, as well as the need to know in starting a new business. Now back to the show.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Thav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
All right, so Chapter 13 doesn't work, or it works, but you're spending a lot of money.
It's not the best solution.
What's the best solution?
For Sean and Marcy at this point, their best solution is debt resolution. They are paying their minimum monthly payments on their credit cards. We can manipulate the system and negotiate settlements of their credit card
So
debt.
outside of bankruptcy.
Outside of bankruptcy. We can use the $1,875 a month, and whatever it is, it doesn't matter if it was $600 was the minimum monthly payment, $800. I can take the minimum monthly payment, have them put it in the bank, and create a war chest of money to negotiate settlements with their credit card companies.
Doesn't that screw up their credit score, though?
Well, it does, but we'll get to that. But let me just show you. If I can take their money that they save up and get rid of their debt in 18 months.
Rather than 5 years in the Chapter 13.
And my goal is 12 to 24 months. If I can make a debt resolution program where I settle the debts with the money that they're already spending, instead of spending it, they save it. We settle the credit card debts, we get them out of debt, and so now you've got the question of their credit score.
Credit score, and what were you asking before?
I love the stigma of filing for
Okay,
bankruptcy.
what about, I don't want my credit score to go down.
Okay, so your credit score is going to go down, and you're going to get out of debt. And imagine, for Sean and Marcy, when their debt is gone 18 months from now, they now have the ability to save $1,875 additional dollars every single month. And for everybody that's watching, I don't care if it's $500 a month that you're paying in minimum monthly payments, that's $500 a month that you'll be able to save 18 months from now. The key is get out of debt. Your credit score will take a hit, but it will come back because credit scores all heal.
Takes a year and a half and the credit score
And
comes
as
back.
to the stigma of bankruptcy or stigma of hurting your, who
The
cares?
stigma is
it goes away.
getting to be 70 and having to be a pauper or depend on your children to live. That's the stigma that people need to avoid.
Well,
Absolutely.
that means the key is
I got to bring it back home,
don't
guys.
do it again.
We've been
Don't
talking
do it
about
again.
Rocky and Adrian and Sean and Marcy, and everything was normal up till now, but it's going to change because this is real life and this is reality. Drum roll, disaster hit for this family 2 weeks ago. Rocky suffers a stroke. He's now spent a week in rehab. He's back at home. Doctors are telling Adrian that he's likely to suffer more and is not long for independent living. The prospect on the horizon is nursing home care, assisted living, costs $9,000 to $12,000 a month. They've got a whole different situation, and that's not all. Sean, on his way to showing the house, was in a bad auto accident. He's still in the hospital. Doctors are telling Marcy he's got a long way to go, at least a year, maybe more, maybe forever before he gets back to work. They now have lost $8,000 a month of income. What should Rocky and Adrian do? What should Sean and Marcy do? We need to all recognize that bad things happen to good people, and you need to address those issues when they arise. Think about it. Rocky and Adrian, everything seemed okay. They had the house paid for. They had $5,000 a month coming in. They had some credit card debt, which, you know, Brian, you probably could have done debt resolution for them on that. But now their whole situation is different because Rocky's facing the need of, if they got $5,000 coming in and a nursing home costs $9,000 to $12,000 a month, how long do you typically end up in a nursing home?
32 months.
So that's a big problem there. Now think about Sean and Marcy. They were just getting by okay, making $156,000 a year, but now they've just lost $96,000 of income. They're going to be way short on what they need. They've got a massive problem on their hands. They don't know what to do.
They got to really watch out.
This is where synergy comes in. Our next segment of Law and Reality, we're going to figure out how does Rocky and Adrian handle the Medicaid problem. Pat's going to figure that out. Jeffrey's going to come in and ask us the answer of what kind of disability can Sean get as a result of his accident. Brian's going to come back and say, how else can we fix Sean and Marcy's problem so that Marcy and Sean have enough money to live on during this period where he's incapacitated. That, my friends, is Law and Reality, and next week we're going to show you how to solve that problem. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.